I guess we should talk about isolationism, but isolation in the modern context. If you have reviewed your World War I history, a lot of the build up to World War I don't want to say it was blamed on American isolationism, but it was listed as a significant factor in allowing what happened in Europe to happen. Even World War II, in fact. The United States, just by geography, has always been somewhat insular, and there are a lot of people today who think we should go back to that policy of, well, people are calling it isolationism. I've seen this pass my feed on X a few times, but I don't think that's what people really mean when they talk about isolationism. Back then, it was merely a practical matter. There was, yes, the two big, beautiful oceans separating us from the old worlds of Europe and the old worlds of Asia. So, like I said, it was a practical matter that we were isolated from the rest of the world. Technology has changed that. You can be pretty much anywhere in the world within 24 hours these days, provided you live near a large enough airport. And you can even cross the ocean in 5 days or less, depending on whether or not they really want to cross the ocean that fast. So goods and services can flow quite freely and very quickly, even relatively, across these oceans. So we are not necessarily, or we're definitely not logistically, or politically, or technically as isolated as we once were. So when people talk about isolationist principles today, or returning to isolationist principles today, I don't really think they mean a withdrawal of the United States from the world. I think what they mean is a focus on returning the United States to self-sufficiency across a broad range of economic sectors. Tech, energy, manpower, all of it. We don't need to rely on the rest of the world for most of what we have and most of what we produce and most of what we consume. I think every country should strive to be as self-sufficient as possible. We can make nearly everything here, and if we can make it here, we should make it here. And that goes for everybody else. It goes for Canada, it goes for Mexico, it goes for every European nation, and we only trade either what we absolutely have to, using beneficial reciprocal agreements, or we import basically luxury items and pay a luxury tax. Something the Democrats really shouldn't object to. So yes, if you absolutely have to have that Rolex, well, it's a Rolex. We can't make Rolexes here because then it wouldn't be a real Rolex. So sure, go ahead, import that Rolex from Switzerland, but you're going to pay a 25% import tariff. And if you're importing a Rolex, that 25% tariff shouldn't be a problem. But we should be able to make watches here in the United States, as we should be able to make everything else here in the United States. Meaning, any talk about a new isolationist America is not withdrawing from the world. We will still welcome tourists. We will still be tourists. We will still go and visit other countries, and they are welcome to come to the United States. We can bring back our bags of trinkets and t-shirts and anything else we want to, and experience other cultures, experience real other cultures in their homeland. We just won't rely on them for cheap food, cheap products, and cheap labor. So isolationism is not about withdrawing from the world. It's about being self-sufficient. It's about being anti-globalist, which is what the powers that be have driven us into over the past few decades. So yes, I think the United States should become more isolationist. I think we should make everything we can here, but we will still be part of the world because, yes, I still have to go to Phantasialand and Universal Beijing, and yes, so I'm being very selfish about the theme parks I want to visit. You know I'm right.